Hi, I am Shelley LaRose-Arken. I'm the commissioner here at Long Island MacArthur Airport. I'd like to welcome you all here this morning and thank you for joining us as we announce a really important service that we're offering not only travelers but also our employees here at the airport who are so important to us. Today we're going to be talking about the ability for travelers or employees to make appointments to get COVID-19 testing. The service is really designed to make travel just a little bit easier. Some of the regulations that are out there are a little bit confusing, and we're really wanting to make it easier and help people comply with the New York, not only quarantine, but also the state regulations. So traveling or returning to MacArthur Airport, you will now have lots of options. So before we get started with our presentation today, I'd like to introduce our distinguished guests that are with me. From my left, John Cochran, Town of Islip board member. He's been an advocate for the airport for a very long period of time, and he's always here to support us. Rob Schneider, who is the deputy commissioner here at the airport and one of the best partners I could ever hope for. Also from my left is Town Supervisor Angie Carpenter. She's amazing and always here to support us and our community in Islip. And also Dr. Law, who is from the American Family Cares. And we're so happy to have our distinguished guest, Dr. Law, here, and he's going to talk to us a little bit more. He's the medical director. Also in the audience, I'd like to recognize a few people from American Family Cares. Lou Dioniso, thank you for joining us and partnering with us today. Justin Schwartz, Dr. Robert Levy, and also Roxanne Rose, who've been helping us today. So thank you very much. We'd like to thank you all for your participation and support. We have a number of our airline partners here today. We also have one of our wheelchair agents here today, TSA reps, a lot of essential and frontline workers that will help us to communicate and get information out. So we appreciate your support of Long Island MacArthur Airport. All of you recognize how valuable Long Island MacArthur Airport is as an economic generator, and also how it creates thousands of jobs directly and indirectly on Long Island. We are working hard every day to make sure that our facility is safe, not only for travelers, but for our employees. About 10 months ago, we began looking at how to do that better. And we began searching for ways to best safeguard our customers and employees about health and wellness. So we were the first airport in the country to implement an air purification system that operates 24/7. We also installed antimicrobial films on high-touch surfaces at the airport. And we installed a personal protective vending machine. So we've done a lot in terms of improving health and safety here at the airport, and we were first. So the TSA has jumped on board with that too, and they're installing new safety measures. Of course, our airline partners, some of them are doing temperature checks, all require face coverings when flying on the airplanes, and also in public areas of the airport, you're required to have a face covering. These efforts have been proven very successful. In terms of research, according to Harvard University, the CDC has not confirmed a single case of transmission of COVID-19 on an aircraft. This is really important. So the odds, they say, of contracting COVID-19 on an aircraft are actually 1 in 27 million. Harvard University also confirms that there are significant protections against COVID-19 during air travel, and that is due to the HEPA filters that are on the aircraft, and they frequently change the air quality in the airplane itself. So there's a lot of good information, scientific information, about how safe air travel is. We are still committed to doing more to innovate and keep our airport safe and our passengers safe. We are offering more convenience in terms of making appointments for COVID-19 testing here today. So to tell you a little bit more about that, I'd like to introduce our town supervisor. And she has been a strong advocate of the airport and for Long Island. She also remains optimistic and diligent about seeking new ways to improve our airport and serve our community. She also takes to heart actions that directly affect our economy and also local jobs here. Please allow me to introduce to you Town Supervisor Angie Carpenter.
So this is another exciting milestone for us here at Long Island MacArthur Airport, and I want to thank Shelley and Robin and the entire team here, certainly my partner at the town board, John Cochran, who, as Shelley said earlier, has been a tireless advocate for Long Island MacArthur Airport. And also in the audience, our Director of Personnel, who makes sure that Long Island MacArthur Airport is the airport of choice for our employees, and that's Arthur Abadi. Thank you for being here, Arthur. We continue to work with the state of New York to comply with all regulations, and they're coming fast and furious and seem to be changing as we speak. So it is a task to kind of keep up with everything. We have not daily, but weekly briefing calls, and more frequently as needed with the governor's office. The governor has recently opted for a new approach to keep New York as safe as possible, and I think it's a little bit more practical than the 14-day quarantining as the states were being added to the list, making it, really people were like, I just can't travel, this is crazy. So this is a little bit more doable. He's provided this new option to allow travelers to test out of the 2-week quarantine period. If visitors and residents coming to New York can demonstrate a series of negative COVID-19 tests, the quarantine time is reduced to 4 days. So let's review it. So option A, you fill out the New York State Traveler Health form prior to your arrival and quarantine for 14 days, or the little bit more practical approach, you take a COVID-19 test no more than 3 days before you arrive in New York. You do not need then to quarantine for the results. You don't need the results before you travel. Then you fill out the New York State Traveler Health form prior to your arrival. You quarantine for 3 days upon arrival, and on day 4, you take another COVID test. A negative result ends the quarantine program. Yay, yay. So travelers arriving from Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Vermont are exempt from this. Of course, travelers and residents have questions, and testing can still be cumbersome and time-consuming. This is one reason why we were so excited to be partnering with American Family Care, AFC Urgent Care, Long Island, to provide an easy option for the testing appointment system. So passengers can take these tests at nearby locations in Nassau and Suffolk counties. It's not mandatory. It is a convenience that we are offering right here at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Beginning today, AFC Urgent Care, and they have time after time demonstrated a commitment to community in so many ways. And they really rose to the top when this whole COVID thing broke early this year. They will have trained medical professionals on site here at the airport to work with our passengers and community to answer those questions about testing and the state's requirements. It is our hope that this will take some of the stress out of the testing policy, and we're all about less stress here, less stress, stress less, fly more, to take the stress out of the testing policy and help make travel safer while providing passengers peace of mind and confidence in their compliance. And I think, too, that hopefully it will increase compliance. I mean, I've heard cases of people sort of sidestepping the personnel that were here to get the testing forms because they didn't want to be, hounded, et cetera. So I think if this is a little bit more reasonable approach and we have the professionals on site here to answer the questions, we'll be seeing more compliance, and more compliance means hopefully we'll get out of this sooner rather than later. We're also urging residents to schedule their flu vaccines. Show of hands, who has had their flu shot? There's hands that didn't go up. I had mine. And it's so important, especially during this challenging health climate. No one wants COVID. No one wants the flu, but God forbid you got them both. I mean, that would really be devastating to someone, especially anyone who has compromised health issues. The cooperation we see with the safeguards that are in place encourages us to do even more, to keep our focus on health and safety while regaining jobs, building infrastructure, stimulating opportunity, and looking forward. You know, Shelley said, we need to be optimistic, and in my world, the glass is always half full. So we're going to get through this together, as we've said time and time again. Again, we will get through this together, just 6 feet apart, with our masks on. With that, it's really a pleasure for me to introduce Dr. Daniel Law, who is the Medical Director of American Family Care, AFC Urgent Care, Long Island, and he oversees the 4 locations on Long Island and is part of a network of more than 220 health clinics nationwide. If you would, please help me welcome Dr. Law. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Carpenter. It's a pleasure partnering up with this group of dedicated leaders who recognize we must work together to protect our health and reduce the spread of COVID-19. As a medical professional and a doctor for over 12 years, I understand the terrible health and economic toll that COVID-19 has taken on our society. Testing is a critical part of containing the spread of COVID-19. Through our innovative arrangement with MacArthur Airport, the town of Islip, and Suffolk County, we are offering a significantly valuable service which will make it easier to travel by air to arrive in Long Island safely with minimum inconvenience. MacArthur Airport is taking a leadership role in this initiative, and we are proud to be part of it. In fact, it's such a creative model that others in the commercial aviation sector may learn from and follow. Many people want and need to travel. However, the process and changing rules from New York State can be confusing. It is our goal to reduce the anxiety and fear related to COVID-19. This is accomplished through offering testing options, which will reduce stress and give travelers peace of mind. These efforts are a balanced approach that meets the health objectives of New York State in reducing the spread of COVID-19 and supports the strong return of the commercial aviation sector on Long Island. Our team at American Family Care, AFC Urgent Care, Long Island, MacArthur Airport, and the town of Islip are all stepping up in response to these new travel guidelines. We are here to support Long Island travelers during this unprecedented time. AFC Urgent Care is committed to providing compassionate care, serving our community by providing testing, comprehensive health services, and promoting overall good health. American Family Care has over 200 urgent care facilities across 26 states. Our trained personnel will be available in the arrival section of MacArthur Airport beginning today. Staff will use mobile equipment to make appointments for travelers for on-the-spot testing to ensure it is easily meets state's requirements. Appointments can be arranged for travelers 3 days after they arrive. Staff can answer questions to help expedite the testing schedule and reservation process. This effort to set up an appointment for testing will be straightforward and convenient. We have testing locations in East Meadow in Nassau County, Farmingdale, West Islip, and soon to be Lake Ronkonkoma in Suffolk County. For residents who live in New York and have insurance, the cost of the PCR test is 100% covered. Depending on insurance, there may be an additional fee for rapid testing. We will work with patients who have out-of-state insurance coverage to understand payment requirements so that there will be no surprises. Rapid testing can produce results in 15 minutes or less. The PCR test can be more accurate, but frequently takes 3 to 5 days for the results. The New York Traveler's Health Form states that COVID-19 tests must be taken 72 hours prior to arrival in New York State. Anyone arriving in New York must be quarantined for 14 days or take a COVID-19 test on day 4 after arrival, and quarantine until the second test is negative. Travelers from border states, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and Vermont are not required to quarantine or test. Our centers are open with extended hours and on the weekends, as we work to minimize the concerns associated with testing and therefore better serve our health needs of Long Island and anyone visiting New York State. Staff will help make appointments in advance for passengers to get tested before they leave on a flight and as they return as well. In some instances, it is possible to set up a testing in the destination city where American Family Care may have testing available. We are ready to work with MacArthur Airport, its staff, customers, and the entire Long Island community to keep everyone safe and healthy. Thank you, Commissioner LaRose-Arken and Supervisor Carpenter for allowing AFC to serve Long Island in this important way.
So again, we would like everybody to be safe, be healthy, and have a wonderful holiday season. Remember, travelers, if you need to travel or have to travel, right here at Long Island MacArthur Airport, AFC is offering an opportunity to make your COVID-19 testing appointment so that you can reduce the number of days that you actually have to quarantine. So thank you all for attending today. We appreciate all your support from AFC and our town supervisor and also our town board members. Thank you again for supporting us.